Now that we have drawn our masked self-portrait, it is time to color it. And before we color it, I want to talk to you first about value. Everybody say value. So value is one of the elements of art, and it is the lightness or darkness of a color. So I am going to show you on this note card exactly how value works. If I were to take a crayon, and I'm going to take a blue crayon, and I were to color very lightly, barely touching the paper, I get a very light value. If I press just a little bit harder, it becomes just a little bit darker. And every time I add more pressure, my value gets darker and darker. And this is a great thing to do when you really want to make things stand out in your picture. It shows depth, it shows texture, and it shows value. It goes from lights to mediums to dark, and you can do that with crayons, you can do it with watercolor, you can do it with just about anything, and that is what we want to do on our portraits. We want to show value. So I'm going to set that aside, and I am going to start coloring my masked self-portrait. So I'm going to begin by opening up my page, and I am going to start on my hair. So my hair is blonde with some areas that are a little bit darker. So I'm going to choose a few different shades of yellow, and I'm also going to choose a little bit of brown. So I am going to start by coloring up at the top, and I am pressing hard in some areas. And another thing I am doing is I am coloring in the direction that I would brush my hair. So if you notice, I am coloring down. I am not coloring sideways, because when I brush my hair, I brush my hair down. So I'm going to do that, pressing hard with my crayon, and then I'm going to go in and show some lighter values. Okay? So I'm showing some lighter values. There's a little bit of hair over here, and then in my braid, some dark areas, and then maybe some lighter areas. Again, showing value. You're going to hear me talk a lot about that this year, because value really takes your artwork from being nice to being amazing. So I am, again, coloring in the direction that I would brush my hair. I made some dark value, and now I'm going to show some lighter value. Now, another thing that I want to see you do in your portrait is I want to see you blend colors. So when you blend colors, you mix them together. So if I were to take this paper, and now I want to show you what blending. We're going to blend colors. I could take two colors and blend them. So in this case, I'm going to do my hair. So I'm going to take a little bit of this yellow, and I'm going to mix it with a little bit of this brown. And when I mix it, I am blending colors. And we can also show value when we blend. I can make it even a little bit darker and blend my colors. So you see how this went from light to dark? So you can blend and show value as well. So that's what I want to do, because my hair does have some darker areas. So I do want to blend in throughout. And I don't want to cover up all of my yellow, but in some areas I want to show some blending. And on the other side as well. Again, I'm coloring in the direction that my hair would be brushed. And now I'm going to take this really bright yellow and just fill in some of the areas, and really make sure that brown and that deeper yellow are being blended in together. And so that's what I want you to do, boys, girls. I really want you to think about how you can blend and how you can show value. So for example, on the skin, I want to blend. So I'm going to take a little bit of peach and maybe some pink for the cheeks and maybe a little bit of brown for the shadows. So again, I'm going to start with my lighter color, and I am going to color in one direction. So in this case, it's not hair that I'm following. So when you color, boys and girls, one thing you want to do is you always want to color in the same direction to make it look nice and neat. So I am going to color up and down very carefully around the mouth and the lips and the eyes and the eyebrows. And I'm going to do the same to the outside of the portrait where the mask is. So I'm just going to keep shading. As you can see, I'm only shading in one direction. Don't forget the ears. And now I'm going to take some of this pink and just right here in the cheeks, what am I doing? I am blending. I'm taking two colors, the pink and the peach, and I'm blending them together. And it's giving me a very soft, gentle, pinkish peach. I am going to color in the lips, and then maybe some of the brown I can show just a little bit of shadow. Maybe a little bit here and a little bit here, a little bit on my nose, maybe over my eyes. It's a little bit darker. Okay, and now for my eyes, I have green eyes, and I really want them to stand out. So that little circle that we did when we drew our portrait, that stays white because that is the reflection in our eye. The black stays black because that is the pupil, and then this part on top stays white as well. Oh, and I forgot my eyebrows. Your eyebrows are usually the same color as your hair. So I'm going to do a little bit of that brown and a little bit of that gold. Okay, now I'm going to continue and I'm going to work on the outside, and you're going to see that for the mask, I am going to do the same thing. I'm going to show value, and I'm going to color the flowers in different colors. So let me close it and finish the skin here and the ears. Take your time, boys and girls. Remember, color in one direction. And I think because my hair is yellow tones, I think I really want to do the opposite for my mask. I think I'm going to do cool colors. So I'll use blues and purples. So around it, I'm going to go pretty dark around the edge of the flower, and then I'm going to get lighter as I work my way away from the flower, again showing value. So dark around the edge, and then lighter as it works its way out. Okay. So you can see the edges of the flower are dark, and then the other area is a light value. So it's the same crayon, but it's two different values, the light purple and the dark purple. And you know what? I'm actually not going to use blue. I changed my mind. I'm going to do reds and oranges. I really like this red orange, and I'm going to do dark and light, dark and light, dark and light. You could do dark, medium, and light. I'm going to do dark and light, dark, light. Again, showing value. Every time you color, no matter what you're using, colored pencils, crayons, oil pastels, art sticks, watercolor, paint. Always try and use value. So dark around the edge and lighter as it works its way out. Okay, boys and girls, so I'm gonna let you work on yours, and before you do, I am also going to do the background. Now for the background, I think I am going to do a watercolor. So I have done everything I wanted to do in crayon. You can see how I also showed value in my letters. I made each word a different color. When you close it, there she is with the mask, and when you open it without the mask. Now, one thing I really want you to get into the habit of doing is coloring the whole area. So I've colored my portrait, I've colored my words, but now I want to color the background. The background is everything behind the object or the person. And I am going to use this watercolor set. This is the kind of watercolor we use at school. You can find it at Target and Walmart. This comes with 8 colors, and I have a little bowl of water right here. And for those of you who are using paint for the first time at home, the one thing you're going to hear me say all the time is dip and drag, okay? Because when we dip and we drag, it removes some of the extra water. If we go straight from our water to our paper, you're going to see that it's going to be dripping. So we dip and we drag. Now I want to think about what color I want to do. So I think because my mask is purple and it has some orange in it, I think I want to do a purple background. So this right here is the purple. I am going to dip and drag, and I'm just going to take my paintbrush and I am just going to brush over the paint just like this. So I'm not digging in it, I'm not trying to scoop it out, I'm just going to brush over the paint. And I can show value here as well. So if we go back to this little paper, I can make my purple really dark, or I can rinse my brush off a little bit and I can make it lighter. Rinse it off a little bit more and keep making it lighter. Rinse it off a little bit more, and as you can see, I'm just dragging the color along. So it went from a super, super dark purple to mediums to a very light purple. And that's what I want to do. I want to show value even in the background. So I'm going to dip, I'm going to drag, I'm going to take some of the paint, and I am just going to very carefully start painting the background. So I'm going to go very careful around the edge of the hair. If I need more water, I get more water. I dip, I drag, get more paint, and I'm going to very carefully paint the background. And I want to go from dark to light.